Now, to publish your book on Kindle, you're going to need to put it in HTML format, which is formatted like a web page. Now, it'll also take it in doc format and a couple other formats, but you're going to want to use HTML format because you have a lot more control over page breaks and how you want the book to work. So to do that, we need to download a web editor. Now, the one I like to use is called Composer. Compozer. And you can come here and you can download the Composer web editor. Okay, now the other thing we're going to need is either Microsoft Word, because we're going to want it in doc format. If you don't have Microsoft Word, then you can download OpenOffice and install that. OpenOffice is an excellent suite of software that allows you to do most of the things you can do with Microsoft Office, except it's free. So you can go and download OpenOffice if you don't have Microsoft Office. Okay, so make sure you have those things installed. Okay, now we're going to go over a couple of Amazon help sections here. First of all, remember I said that you're going to need a good cover. Now, it's going to have to follow some specifications to be able to be used in Amazon. So you're going to have a JPEG or a TIFF image, and the dimensions have to be minimum 500 by maximum 1280 pixels. You also need to save it at 72 dots per inch for optimal viewing. Make sure that you follow these specifications so that things display properly in your ebook cover. Now, for content that is within your ebook, you have different specifications. Okay, so if we go here, you can use GIF, PNG, BMP, and JPEG images. Maximum size is 127 kilobytes. And all images in your content are going to appear in black and white. Even if they're color images that you're using, they're going to be black and white when people display them on their Kindle devices or their smartphones. So keep that in mind when you're creating images and putting images into your product. Now, if you are able to create your own images using software, then of course you should go ahead and do that. If not, you can outsource that work and have somebody create it for you. But you need to make sure that it's a professional looking image, because that's going to be what gets the attention. When somebody's creating images for you, or if you're creating them, you're going to need to either purchase stock images or you can go and find public domain images. Here is a site called Wikimedia where you can find free images, but you still need to check the licenses out before you go using the images, just to make sure that you're in compliance. Now, if you go down to this side, you can see that we can look by topic. So we have all these different topics, and you can go in here and see if you can find something that will fit your needs. So this is the free way to go. And then of course you can go to the stock image sites and you can purchase images if you'd rather do it that way, and if you have the budget. Okay, so I'm going to go down to drawings here. And then within drawings, we have all these different subcategories here that we can pick from and find a drawing within those that we might want to use. Okay, so here I checked on drawings by theme, and then it gives me some choices here. So let's just go through an example. Say drawings of people. Okay, and then we can break this down further. We have all different kinds of drawings. Okay, so let's go into drawings of men, for instance, and then we can break this down even further. You can also just roll down and you can just have a look at the different drawings here. Now, if you find one that you want to use, you can just click on the image, And then when you roll down, you'll see the licensing. Okay, you'll see it's licensed under the Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike 3.0 Unported. Okay, and then it gives you some more details down here. So read through the license carefully. And then down here you have the file history. It just shows you any changes that have been made to it. Okay, so if we're going to use this one, we can click on it and just do a right click. And then we can just do Save Images in Firefox. Depending on the browser, it'll be worded a little different, but let's save this one. And then, okay, so now it's on our computer, and then we can take it and use it in our ebook cover creation. So just be aware that you need to be aware of the license terms of any image you're using and any images that you purchase. A good idea is to purchase the images yourself and then give them to somebody that's going to create the book cover for you. That way you know that they are using images that they have the legal right to use. You don't want to get caught using images that they may have taken from Google Images or from somewhere else that they didn't have the rights to. Okay, now I've opened my book up in OpenOffice. And what we need to do now is convert it to HTML format. Okay, so we can do File, and then we can go and do a Save As. Okay, and then down here, we want to turn it into HTML. So HTML document. Okay, and then click Save. Okay, and here is our HTML document. So if we double click on that, it opens up in the browser like so. Okay, but what we want to do now is we want to open it up with Composer. So let's go open up Composer here. And then we'll open our page. Just click Open and find your HTML page. Okay, as you see, we have an issue here. Okay. All right, now what we could do now is create a table of contents. Okay, so let's just put table of contents. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to create clickable tags to each part here. Okay, so we'll say Overview. Okay, and then what we do is we do this, and then we go up here to Anchor and just click OK. And then we highlight this and we do Link. Okay, and then we find the named anchor in here. So we called that Overview. Okay, so then we do the same thing again. Now this is just a short report as an example. Of course, you're going to have something more substantial than this. Anyway, let's go back to the anchor. Okay, and then we can put the whole thing in here. Oops, we need to. Or whatever you want to call the table of contents item. Okay, so we'll say how speed reading improves your skills. Highlight that. Go up to Link. And then drop down. hit the anchor there, click OK. Okay, so what's going to happen now is if somebody clicks on these, it takes them right to that section in the ebook. Okay, so when we're done here, we just save that. Now let's open it up in the browser. Okay, so here it is in the browser. Now let's go and click this one, for instance. You'll see that it positions itself right to that section. So that's why we did that. Now another thing we might want to do is have the page breaks defined. Amazon Kindle is going to just go through here, decide where it's going to break the page, and it's going to break it there. So what you're going to want to do is take control of that. To do that, you can use a certain tag. There's two different types of breaks you can use. You can use a section break or a page break. So to put in a page break, what we do is just decide where we want to put it. So I want a page break right before here. So we can insert and then HTML. And then here's the tag you use. So just use that tag, and you can find that in the Amazon help and insert it there. So anytime you want to put a page break, that's where you do it. So if we want one after the table of contents as well, we can insert HTML and another page break. Okay, and then we can use section breaks as well if we want. And the section break tag looks like this. So let's put it before overview here. So we insert HTML. Okay, there's a section break. Okay, so you can put a section break in front of each of these as well if you want, or you can use a page break. Depends how you want to format it. Okay, so we just go through, put all of these breaks in so that you have taken control of how your content is going to display. Very important, because otherwise Amazon's just going to do that wherever they feel like it. Okay, so once you have that all formatted, just do a save there. And now your HTML formatting is now done. We're going to continue with the formatting process in the next video.